Hey everyone, welcome back to What Valerie Makes. I'm Valerie, and today we're doing a Make 9 2024 recap, as well as a 2025 plans and goals. So, when I went to make this, also Happy New Year! Hi! Nothing kind of refreshes the mind, the body, as a January 1st, you know what I mean? So Happy New Year, everybody, and thanks for tuning in today. So like I said, I was going to talk a little bit about my Make 9 2024, and then also go into my, sewing plans and goals of 2025. I decided to do a fabrics Make 9 this past year, and I couldn't even remember what I put on it. I had to actually watch that video before I filmed this one to take some notes and to see which ones I actually used and which ones I didn't. These are all the ones I didn't use. I only managed to use 3 fabrics. So, what does this tell me? Last year was my first Make 9 fabrics, because in the previous years I had done a Make 9 with patterns and was not successful with doing it that way. Obviously I wasn't successful doing the fabric edition. So what does this tell me? What have I learned from the past 3 or so years of participating in a Make 9, where I have clear intentions at the beginning of the year and then I just don't do it? What that tells me is that a Make 9 isn't for me, and that's okay. That's all right. I've come to learn. I've tried different ways. I'm more of a what is calling me in this moment, instead of kind of predicting what I'm gonna want to make throughout the year at the beginning of the year by how I feel right at that moment. And that just doesn't work for me. So like I said, I managed to make 3 items, and I made my boiled wool coat. I made the cotton canvas stripe fabric in a jacket, which was my previous video. And then I used the houndstooth fabric to make a pinafore dress. So the 3 things that I did make, I really like them. I'm happy with them, and I'm looking at my fabrics right now. They're all fabrics that I like, but I think going forward, I might give myself a little time frame of some of these fabrics. I'm looking at 2 in particular, have been in my stash a long time. So what that tells me is that either I don't like it, and that's okay, or I just am holding on to it for one reason or another. So I think that I'm going to give myself a time frame to either sew up the fabrics or let it go. I just think that rotating my fabric stash will make me feel more inspired this year. So that is my small recap of my Make 9 of 2024. It's funny because I watched that video, wrote down, I was like, nope, yes, 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 nope, 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 nope. So that was funny. Do I like plans? Yes, but I think I like to look a month in advance. I'm not very good at predicting what I'm going to want to make come September, October, November, December. So that goes on. That's a good segue, I should say, to go into my sewing goals for 2025. So I made a list of the things that are important to me, or things that I really want to continue on in my practice or learn. Coincidentally, there are 9. My first goal is to continue working on fit. Now this past year, I have been really good at making those adjustments that I know will make my fit better. So that means a broad back adjustment. That means a bicep adjustment. That means a small bust adjustment if I need to do it. So I sometimes will rush something because I want to do something quickly and I'm like, oh, it's a boxier fit. It won't matter. It really does matter because it doesn't actually fit you the way that the pattern is intended to fit. So I have like cut corners this year, and even as of recent, of like things that I thought I could because it wasn't like a fitted garment, but taking the time and actually making those adjustments to make it fit my body perfect is like something that I'm going to continue to wear and like to continue to wear again and again. This jumpsuit is actually one of the things that I'm most proud of that I made this year. And I took my time. I made the adjustments that I needed to make, and I love it. And I wear it all the time because I've actually learned how to do most of those adjustments this year. So I want to keep doing it and keep using them because when I do use them, I wear the thing way more because I'm super comfortable in it and I feel great. Sewing goal number 2. I have been this year putting off making any kind of pants. I've made like full on like pajama style shorts and pants, but I have been like, no, I put on, like I had to put some of the pants that I made like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I had to put those away because they don't fit me anymore. That's all right. And so I kept putting off making new ones because I was like, well, my body's going to change, so why put in the effort if I can't wear them? I'm not doing that. I am in need of some pants in my wardrobe. We don't need to get down to a certain size to be able to make clothes that fit. That's why we sew. We sew to make clothes that fit us in the bodies that we have right now. And I just need to practice what I preach. That's happening this year. Third goal and plan, I guess, is to finally make a quilt. Now, I've had this quilt pattern. It's called the Diana, and I've had this in my, like I bought this probably over a year ago, maybe closer to 2 years ago. And I'm like, I really love that. I love the style of the quilt. It seemed like it said a little bit of a beginner. Perfect, that's me. So I bought that and I was like, this will be a great, when I don't want to make clothes, I'll like learn to quilt. And I've done some like quilting, just basic. Like I've made the book covers, I've done some other like small quilting projects, but nothing like an actual quilt. I'm doing it this year. I bought my fabric. And I have some fabric in my stash already for it as well, but the things that I didn't have, I bought it. It's on its way, and I am making this quilt this year. And let me know if you want to see a video about me going about making my first quilt, because I think that that would be fun to do. Oh, this is a really fun. I put this on here because I actually watched a video of someone making like a mat or like a hot pad kind of situation and using like teeny tiny fabric scraps, basically using your rotary cutter, cutting them all up, shoving them in between like a mesh and then like a foam and your quilt and cotton on the bottom, and like making a really cool quilted mat just using your fabrics. And so that made me think of, I'm gonna be really vulnerable with y'all right now. I have been sewing for 4.5 years, almost 5. And I have never thrown away any of my fabric scraps. Now I have thrown away some things, like I've thrown away fabrics. I wouldn't say never, but I think the amount of fabric scraps that I've kept is probably about 90 to 95% of my entire, like what I've used. Like that is how much fabric scraps I have. I keep a bag underneath my table, and once the bag is full, I then put it in a box that's in my closet, and that box is completely full to the top. Like I've shoved and shoved, no more can fit in there. But this is kind of what I'm talking about, like these. And I just pulled this out of the bag. So I don't throw these away. I keep them. And so I have to, this is my goal, use my little fabric scraps this year. Is that making quilted placemats? Maybe.
Say hello to the pillow pets.
I started saving it because I was gonna make the closet cord the poof and shove all my scraps in it, but guess what? I haven't made it. Make the poof, fail, fill it up. That is happening in 2025. You've heard it here first. I did a lot of learning in the past 4 years. I've made a bunch of stuff. It might not have always been the things that I want to wear, like on a day-to-day basis, but I made them because I was really inspired by somebody or I wanted to learn something. So now that I feel like I have that all under my belt, my goal this year is to stay true to my personal style. I need to look away from the things that look amazingly gorgeous on other people, but on me, they might look amazingly gorgeous on me, but I'm not gonna wear it. So this is something that I really need to focus on this year, stay true to my personal style, as well as what's practical in my wardrobe. Those special projects, we can still do them, but when it comes to everyday sewing or what I'm making this year, staying true to my personal style is on the top. That's gonna be is this my style? Yes. Then next step, then the next step. This ties into the fabrics I didn't use in my 2024 Make 9 plan. This is using up my stash. Now, I really feel like the last half of 2024, I did amazing at not buying fabric. I'm really proud of myself for reining it in. I love buying fabric. It's so much fun. But I'm really, I have enough. I do have a little star next to this point. The things that are actually lacking in my fabric stash is my jersey cubby. Now I have cubbies for each fabric type. So I have 3 separate cubbies for wovens. And then for all of my jersey, no matter what, it's very limited. And so I can buy jersey fabrics, but other than that, I need to use what's in my stash. And if I'm not going to use it, I need to I need to hold myself accountable and be why are you not using it? Do you like it? And if you don't like it anymore, that's okay. It needs to be in a new home.
And that's the truth.
And then this goal is also continuing to, with the using my fabrics that I already have, shop my patterns. I'm not buying any patterns this year. I can buy a pattern. I'm not going to be no patterns, no fabrics. But the pattern, it has to be something unique and something that I'm super excited about. So I'm not saying I'm not buying patterns, but what I am admitting is the amount of patterns I have. It's, I would say, in the hundreds. I'm not kidding. Use my patterns. I can make whatever I want. I have everything at my disposal, basically, to be a successful sewist in 2025 in my room right now. And I feel confident about that. And then the next one is actually learn to knit. Now, I dabble in crochet. I can crochet, and I have made, when I was younger, I used to make scarves, but the person who taught me, I think taught me incorrectly. So when I watch videos of people actually knitting, I'm that's not how I've done it before. This year, I'm committed on actually learning how to knit. And I'm thinking about trying to start my very first project. I have a very good friend, a couple of very good friends who are phenomenal knitters. So I have resources available to me. I feel confident that I can do this. And then last but not least, this is my very precious Liberty Silk fabric that Jordan got me for my birthday 2 years ago now. It's lovely and I love it so much, but I'm so scared to use it because I don't want to make the wrong thing, mess up, all the things that we tell ourselves about using the nice fabric, right? We don't do it because we don't want to mess it up. I said that I was going to use it in 2024. I even said in my video, I said, I'm going to sew with this fabric in 2024. I have to. I can't just let it sit on my fabric stash, like in my fabric cubbies, and just stare at me another year. I have to make something with it. And I didn't. I love it and I will never get rid of it. Like this is, even if I don't sew it this year, unlike the rest of them, those can go. This will always stay. But I am committed at making something with this year. Like I have 4 meters of this. So I can make a couple different things and I just need to do it. And I'm gonna be happy about it. It's so beautiful. So I'm committing. And that is my last goal. It is sew the Liberty silk already. That is what I wrote down. You can do it, Val.
People just have to believe in themselves. That's the most important thing. It's got to start here, and it's got to start there. And people have to believe that they can do it.
That is my goals for 2025. I will say that I took a little bit of a break in December only because we all know how Vlogmas can get, right? It's like, I love watching Vlogmas. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a Vlogmas hater. I love it. But if you're not participating in said Vlogmas, sometimes you're like, I'm a once to twice a month video uploader. And I find that when I've tried to post during like Vlogmas last year, my videos kind of fell a little bit down because it gets in the mix and people are stoked about Vlogmas and they are already committed to watching Vlogmas, which I feel that I am also committed. So I took a little bit of a break and I am just really happy to be back and starting again in the new year. I would really love to really commit to my 2 video a month schedule like I've been doing, and then who knows, maybe I can do maybe 3. Also, if you have seen my videos before, I am not a one-woman show. My spouse helps me so much with the editing, and it really depends on their schedule when they can help me. They're also very busy and have other projects that they also do. It's not just me over here, and I really like the way that we do our videos and the amount of effort that it actually goes into editing them and making them how we want. It does take a long time. I appreciate you all so much for watching my videos and for just sending me such lovely comments. You have no idea how much sewing and sharing means to me. And before I start tearing up, I will say, I hope you all have a lovely new year, and here's to 2025, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Sappy over here. Okay, Val. We all know how much you love sewing. You don't need to cry about it.